Just do a quick agenda, pretty simple. Just do a quick welcome, go over some upcoming events. We'll do get to know a member, ask some simple questions just so we can see who you guys are and hopefully put some names to faces and all that kind of stuff. So feel free to either raise your hand or just unmute yourself or just let us know if you want to introduce yourself. And then Luke is going to be leading the 2022 Viz Games, and that is all I know about that. So I'm sure it's going to be fun, whatever it ends up being. And then if there's time, we'll go through the best thing I learned / group therapy, which is, if you have a question, we can try and crowdsource it, or if there's something really cool that you learned, feel free to, again, raise your hand, let us know, and share your screen maybe, and we can do that. All right, let's go to the next slide. So upcoming events. Later today, there is the Twin Cities Data Viz group, and that is going to be a virtual meeting, so you can hop on right after this one if you'd like. And I believe it is regarding something along the lines of doing data viz in an uncertain world, if I remember correctly. And coming up in March, we've got She Talks Data, a happy hour. This one is going to be in person at Leela. And I think that's just a fun happy hour, if that's correct, Serena. Yes, okay. And you can sign up at meetup.com. And then a little bit later in the month is going to be a Python group. If you use Python, this is again, another virtual meetup where you can learn about using Python. I know there's another event on here that I missed. The Alteryx user group is going to be on St. Patrick's Day, so 3/17. And that is going to be kind of in the afternoon, I believe 4 p.m. And you can sign up for that on meetup.com. Again, it's just the Twin Cities Alteryx user group. The next Tableau tug is going to be on 3/24. That is a virtual one. And again, same time as right now. And you can sign up at the usergroup.tableau.com. Basically, wherever you signed up for this one, sign up in the same spot for the next one. And then also an upcoming event is going to be the Tableau conference, and that is in May. I don't remember the dates off the top of my head. I know that there's still some.
19th.
Awesome. Thank you, Serena. 17th through the 19th. So there's still some uncertainty about tickets and pricing, I believe. So hopefully Tableau will release some more information about that. And we are also trying to figure out what we're going to do kind of that month. Maybe do another watch party, maybe just do it in person. We'll figure it out. Kind of depends on what Tableau ends up doing. And that is all I have for upcoming events. Does anyone have anything that I missed? Or anyone have any other
quick question?
Juicy? Yes.
I was just going to ask, is that Alteryx one in person or virtual?
I believe it's in person.
Okay, got it. And I don't have it on good authority, but I have done some of my own detective work, and I'm pretty sure that the Tableau conference is happening at Mandalay Bay again.
Ooh.
Just FYI.
That should be fun.
I know that there had been, through some exchange over the course of the past couple of weeks, one thing we may want to try and get some feedback around is, for May's Tableau conference, should we look to do a watch party like we did back in November for TC21? So I can field any of those thoughts in the chat if folks have specific ideas.
Yeah,
yep.
Definitely.
I'm happy to be your on-site correspondent because I will be there.
Back to you, Serena.
Yeah, Greg is asking if anyone is hoping to go. Serena, I'm guessing Luke, Sam, are you guys open to go?
Hoping to go, still awaiting some details about timing and speakers and things. So
yeah. I'm sure it'll be fun regardless. It'll be a good time to hang out with the community and learn some new things. And even if you don't end up going in person, I'm sure there's going to be virtual events. So it'll be fun either way. All right, any other announcements before we move on to the get to know a member? Luke, you want to switch to the next slide, and would someone like to volunteer to introduce themselves? These are sample questions that we have. Don't have to answer them all. We just want to say hi. Right. If no one volunteers, I'm going to call on at least one person.
I'll volunteer.
Looks like Mike Amos has raised his hand.
Oh, I could. Yes. David, I think you unmuted yourself. You want to go first, and then whomever raised their hand. I'm sorry, I can't see that part, but whoever raised their hand, go next.
Yeah, I couldn't find that button. I can find the mute button. I'm David Williamson. I work for Mayo Clinic down in Rochester, and I support research. So I support a precision medicine study, and I do logistics, and I do dashboards and reporting for our team. So a lot of the data that I look at are blood specimen, kind of stats of when we received them, did we receive them in the appropriate timeframes, were there problems identified by the lab, and then reporting that back to the partners that we have across the country, so that they can address them and recollect if necessary. And I've been doing that for about 3 years. What am I good at in Tableau? I don't know. That's a tough question. I'm gonna have to think about that.
Is there something you like to do in Tableau? Put it that way.
I like to give people, lots of ways to kind of slice and dice things. Unfortunately, most of the dashboards that I actually end up developing are a lot simpler, and don't get to do any of the fun things that you learn how to do in training sessions or that you see on Tableau Public. But I like to play with those things and try and sneak them in when I can. And I'm kind of a team of one, so it's just been me kind of figuring it out as I go along, which is both fun and a little scary.
Yeah, definitely hear you on that. I've been a team of one before, and it's hard to bounce ideas off of yourself. So,
Very.
But that's one of the things that this group is for. So feel free to bounce ideas off of us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mike, do you want to go? I think you were next.
Yeah, you bet. I actually met David for the first time at a brain date at TC21, so he and I have spoken before. I'm Mike Amos. I work for Royal Bank of Canada, RBC. My role, I just call myself a developer, but I do end-to-end development, starting with the raw data source all the way up to putting it into Tableau, setting up the permissions, putting it on server, that kind of thing. Let's see, what type of data do I analyze? It's financial stuff. It's all, the billions of dollars that you're all saving and putting away for retirement so that you can retire and fly around the world. How long have I been using it? I used it off and on for years, but I haven't seriously been using it until I started the RBC, which is about 4 years ago. Since then, it's been a touch it almost every day kind of thing. What am I good at in Tableau? I have gotten disturbingly good at, or maybe not good, but practiced at building dashboards with lots of containers to get everything exactly where it belongs. Including we recently built like a whole style guide where we're getting everything to have a common look and feel and all that sort of thing. So building dashboards with the containers rather than floating. And then what do I struggle with the most? Building dashboards. I struggle with all of the analytic features, having like a prediction or a trend line that is that seems to make sense to my end user. A lot of times if I just click the button, it does a thing, but it's not something that I can then unpack when asked about it. So some of those analytics features are ones that I could stand to do better at. I'll turn it over to Emily at that point.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for sharing, Mike. Emily, you want to go?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so my name is Emily Busell. I work for a company called Genoa Healthcare, which is a behavioral health pharmacy provider. And I'm a strategic analyst, so I do what pretty much everyone here does, which is analyze data, build dashboards. As far as what kind of data I analyze, a lot of it is pharmacy dispensing data. So Genoa has a network of about 600 pharmacies that are co-located within community mental health centers. So I get the data of all the medications that we dispense, and I'm analyzing it in a whole lot of different ways. Trying to understand how, for example, how drug mix affects margin, that kind of thing. I am like Dave. I'm a team of one, so I'm on my own with problem solving a lot in Tableau. But the community is very helpful in that respect. I've been using Tableau seriously for about a year, but I sort of started to become familiar with it about 3 years ago. As far as what I'm good at, I feel a little bit like a one-trick pony when it comes to maps, because I've learned how to make a hex map, and that's, I like that better than the map where Alaska screws everything up. So I make hex maps whenever there's a geographic thing that I want to represent. And as far as what I struggle with, level of detail expressions, like I always know what I want. I know what the outcome I want to be is, but then getting the syntax right, there's a lot of guess and check that goes into that. I also just noticed that Sam's background is a video.
And that was me about when the pandemic started, and I had a goatee then, and lived in a completely different place of town. So it's a little adventure. Keeps things interesting.
All right, well, thanks for sharing, Emily. Luke, do we have time for one more, you think?
Yeah, we got time. We can go for it for sure.
Okay, cool. Ariv, is that how you say your name? I believe you volunteered.
Yeah, it's Eric, actually. That's a little bit typo.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, perfect. So my name is Eric Quam. My situation is a little, drastically different than most of you. So I actually work for a landscape design company, Outdoor Escapes, and landscape designer. So it's a little bit different than most of you. But I work with data visualizations currently, and trying to transition that into a different role somewhere else. So it's really drawn to Tableau. I've only been working with it for about 2-3 months. So I'm very fresh, very green. But how long have I been using? I'm sorry, I answered that one. What am I good at? I'm gonna be honest, absolutely nothing. Still learning, but that's what I'm hoping you guys can teach me. And what functions do I struggle with? Oh, all of them.
Eric, sorry to interrupt you. I thought you were done,
no.
but I was just going to recommend that, and to anyone else that's just starting out, there is a newbie user group that was just launched. I think that's being led by Sarah Bartlett and a couple other people. But so there's a specific user group for newbies, and I believe they've got some curated content that's kind of like a course. Like course-like anyway. So anybody that is just starting out and looking for those sort of basics, I would recommend that you check that user group out, and you can find it on just the same place that you probably found this user group, on Tableau's user group webpage.
I just dropped the link in the chat.
Perfect. Thank you. But still come to this one.
Yes, you can come to both. That sounds like a really cool group, because sometimes I remember when I started, I struggled with not knowing what I didn't know. So I always did something the exact same way, and then would discover a trick or something. You're like, oh, this makes my life so much easier. But yeah. Well, thanks everyone for introducing yourselves. We're happy you guys are here, and we're happy to have anyone at any level. And with that, I guess I'll pass it off to Luke.
Oh yes, this is going to be a great time. Once a year, we come together. Well, we come together every month, but once a year, Serena gives me the keys for Viz Games or whatever. It could be anything. Viz Games last year. Last year, if you attended, you watched people two sets of groups, see a dashboard, and basically play a little bit of a game of like, what would you
Dashboard telephone.
Yeah, telephone, basically telephone for a dashboard. I think Sean was a participant, and this year he's back, but you know, right, you got to be entertained by that. This year, the Viz game, a little bit different. This year's Viz game, Sean and I have come up with 6 challenges, very light challenges. The idea is to spend 5 minutes on each challenge, and all of you are going to be participating in the challenge. Well, whoever wants to participate will be a part of the challenge. So a fun little twist this time. And of course, you're like, Luke, I didn't show up to do anything but listen today. You're going to have to bribe me with something. So for those participating in this, each of the 6 questions, for every submission, we're going to give away the background of my thing here, because I'm moving tomorrow, is all boxes, but I have a book here. Yeah, there. Sam's got it up. I'm going to give away a copy per question. Basically, all you have to do is submit, and you'll see in a second how that's going to work. Actually, I'll just go to the next slide. That would be far more effective. So both Sean and I are going to showcase, just going to give you a screenshot of an example. Like say, this is going to be the first one. And I'm going to just ask you to recreate this one thing. And we'll give you 5 minutes. You don't even have to have it perfect. I'm just saying, in 5 minutes, go and create that thing, whatever it is. Go submit your via the link to bit.ly /VizGames22. Submit whatever you got. And then after each question, we're going to actually have I wrote a little program right in the results from the form, and I will be able to, I don't even have to do anything. I just pick the name that gets randomly selected from it. And we'll give you a digital copy of the book, so you don't have to come to my house and pick up one of the 3 boxes that I have of books. Though if you do want a physical copy, I will be happy to, the next time we are in person, leave a copy for you, because we've got, like I said, 3 boxes of these books laying around. So digital copy available after each question. 5 minutes, we covered that. Submit a screenshot. And yeah, so the way this will work is, you're like, Luke, what data source are we going to use? Well, in Tableau, if I go on a little hunt here, we will see there is a data source available called Superstore. If you are vaguely familiar or unfamiliar, every time you open up Tableau, there is this data source available to you, unless you have explicitly chosen to remove it from a saved data source. So if you just kind of went file new, that's going to load up a new data source or a new Tableau dashboard or a new workbook. And within that workbook, you will then be able to connect to a data source. And under your saved data sources will be sample Superstore. And if you connect to this data source, I'm almost giving the solution away there for the first one, but you'll be able to connect to that data source. And that is what we're going to use. And we'll probably provide a little bit of context to what to expect and what to build along the way. And after those 5 minutes, we'll just put a quick timer on it. We'll come back together, either Sean or myself, depending on who created the solution. We'll then showcase how to rebuild that thing. And then we'll say who's got a book coming their way as a result. So hopefully everyone's on board. The things you need: Tableau open, a browser open, and something to take a screenshot of whatever your workbook looks like at that point to submit to be eligible. So the 6 opportunities, and given the size of this group, roughly, I don't know, like 35, 30 people, if you assume half are going to participate and half are going to hang out here, pretty good chance at getting a book. By the way, background on the book, I just should call out is spent a bit of time using Tableau across lots of industries, and the co-author, Ann Jackson, and myself just have a lot of, I'll call them practical solutions. Some of them aren't as necessarily straightforward, but they're lots of experiences of what we've had to face in a variety of business contexts, whether it's nonprofit to retail, you sort of name, and manufacturing, all the industries. There's something that's relevant for everyone in the book. So you can be eligible. If you already have it, like Sam, and if somehow Sam wins it, I'm going to make him give it to somebody else. And you can just tell me who you want to give it to out of it, and we'll make sure that it gets to the right people along the way. So that's to me, the best way to do that. All right, enough setting up the challenge. Let's showcase the first visualization and see how this goes. I believe Sean, we said we were going to do yours first, correct?
Yep.
Hey, Luke.
Yeah.
There is a question in the chat about, do you want us to recreate it exactly? What if we make minor changes, like changing a filter list to a drop down?
I'm not expecting perfection. I think part of the experience here is giving it a shot and then learning from anything that you've done. So exactly, just do your best. And that's what the goal is here. I'm, obviously we're not going to get a chance to go through all the solutions, as I'm going to go off of screen share for a little bit to pull up people. But for the most part, it's honor system.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. For those of you who have not had the chance to meet, I'm Sean Miller. You can follow me at Hipster Viz Ninja. I actually run the Kansas City Tableau user group, so just down the road from you guys. As Luke said, I was here, did the Viz games last year, so that was really fun. So I'm happy to be here, and I also have the book. It's very good. So hopefully we get to have some fun today. So the first challenge for you is find what month and subcategory has the highest percent of total sales in 2021. So if you can do your best to recreate this view, as well as provide an answer. Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to provide a little bit more context to the data, just so everyone's aware of it. And I'm going to try not to give away any secrets on that sheet. Just as a point of reference for everyone, when you load in the data, I really did want to talk about this, is that Superstore is basically a snapshot of 4 years of data of, say, online digital sales. And you can just quickly see that by double clicking on order date and seeing that there are 4 years, as well as there is different product hierarchies and location hierarchies in the data. So we have, in the locations, sort of what is down to the postal code. And then at the product level is sort of high level of subcategory, a category, subcategory, manufacturer, and the product itself. So just some more context to the data. And then you'll see, in terms of the measures that we're working with, there is sales. Again, not everyone works in sales or works with sales data, but it's just a good point of reference since we've all went shopping at some point in our lives before. I guess I'm making a really big assumption there, but I would assume so. And then profit and units And then there's also a discount in here, but those are the major fields that are going to exist in the data. Just to give a full broad overview as if you've never been involved before with this.
Yep.
Sorry, Sean.
No, that's all right. No, it's good. So this will, I'll tell you, for people who are kind of building it and don't know where to start, this will involve quick table calculations. And it will require a little bit of knowledge with scope and direction of table calculations as well. So, but here in just a little bit, I'll walk you through. And like Luke said, he gave me the challenge of coming up with 3 challenges that required no more than 3 to 4 clicks. So everything that you're going to see here today over the next 6 challenges can be done in 5 or less clicks, because that's the power and speed of Tableau.
So 5 minutes on the clock. It is exactly 3 o'clock Central Time. Because this is the Twin Cities user group, we're going to use our time here. We'll give you 5 minutes to work. 3:05. Come back. Sean will walk through a solution.
And Lucas, I see your question there. So that we're using sample Superstore data. So when you first open up Tableau, one of your saved data sources down in the bottom left corner is the Superstore data. And we are using order date. Yes, order date. So order date of 2021. So what is the month and subcategory that has the highest % of total sales in 2021 by order date? This is challenge 1.
We already have a submission in. First one's in.
Cool.
Did you guys chat the link, the bit.ly link, or are we just?
It's right on the bottom of
Copying
the
it.
screen share.
Can
But
you
I
chat
can-
it? So
I can chat it to save a step.
Thank you.
Oh, you know what's great about Google Forms is that you can actually, I don't even have to click through. I can see the solutions without, I can actually check them very quickly here. Lovely, lovely.
Oh, if you're using Tableau Public Desktop, Luke, can you get the data.world link to?
Oh, yeah, yep.
So Lacey brought up a good question. She's using Tableau Public Desktop. We'll get you that. We'll get you a link to a CSV output of Superstore data. So for those of you also, while we're trying to fill time here, Luke and I also are part of Workout Wednesday. So if you're not familiar with Workout Wednesday, it's a weekly challenge, a little bit more involved than this, but this is the type of thing that you can expect from Workout Wednesday, which is you are given a screenshot of what needs to be built, and then also a set of requirements. And then you get your own set of time to go figure out that challenge. So lots of really cool resources to help you along the way. Lots of people blog, power of the community. So definitely check that out if you need that. So Luke just dropped in. The first link is going to be a CSV output of Superstore. So you can go to that website and download it, and then you can connect to it using the Excel connector. And then the second link is the bit.ly link to submit.
It's like Mikhail is having some issues submitting. I was personally having the same issue. I'll just throw you in there. All right. If you can't submit, let me know. I'll add you to the list quick.
All right, I've got 305 on my watch.
All right, I've added a few people in here, just so we know. I'm going to turn off my screen share and give it to you, Sean, to do the walkthrough.
All right. Cool. All right, let's jump into it. All right. You got a quick thumbs up so you can see my screen. Good deal. All right, so here we are. This is what we're going to create. But before I do that real quick, I do have to move my Zoom stuff out of the way. There we go. All right, so the first thing that I have to do, I wouldn't be doing, we can have a lot of fun in Superstore. And this is my favorite story. I, Sean Miller, have the highest sales of any customer in the Superstore data set. So that's really fun. I just like to point that out. All right, so what are we going to build? We're going to build a, first thing we need to do, as I said, order date of 2021. So I'm going to take order date, drop it in filters, and I'm just going to select discrete year and select next. And I'm just going to only select 2021. The other thing I said is we're going to do it by month and subcategory. So I'm going to drag my order date onto columns. And then I'm going to drop the drop down and do discrete month. Then from the product hierarchy, I'm going to take subcategory, drop it on rows. All right, so that's the basis of it. Now I did sales, so I'm going to drag sales out to text. And now what I'm going to do is do the quick table calculation, % of total. Now this is where the scope and direction and I'm also going to drop it on color because that's, and change the mark type to a square so that it changes into a heat map. Now, this is where scope and direction of your table calculations comes in really handy. So whenever I say scope and direction, we're talking about compute using with your table calculations. So right now we've got table across, table down, table, cell, order date, or subcategory. So if I did table across as it is right now, what it's doing is it's adding up. You can see across the table, everything adds up to 100%. If I change this to down, and I have to change both of them to down. And I do this, now everything adds up to 100%. Down, right? So it literally is across, it is relative to how you're actually viewing your data. So now if we do table, and we change this to table as well, now what's happening is all of everything inside the view adds up to 100%, right? So that's how you can kind of make sense of your scope and direction of your quick table calculations is what do I want to add up to 100%? And again, additionally, if we go out here to analytics, we can drag in column grand totals and row grand totals. And you can see here, the only thing that adds up to 100% is the total of the grand totals up to 100%. Again, if I change my values here to table down, again, it's another nice visual thing. Everything going down equals 100%, or if I go across, you'll also see that that it will change there as well. But the question that I asked, month and subcategory had the highest percent of total sales. It would be on table. So I'll do that. And the answer is copiers in March. Had the highest subtotal, had the highest percent of total sales in 2021. So Luke, who is our winner?
Kale, Diedrich is the winner of the first book. Got plenty. They're just hanging out here. Just got them everywhere. So
Awesome.
first one down. It's really good that you did table calculations first, because I'm going to follow that up with another table calculation challenge for everyone. In fact, I'm going to even set you up to make it kind of easy to do, hopefully. I'm going to share my screen again. And for this challenge, the goal here, I don't even care. I'll show you it because I'm only really interested in one thing for this challenge. Actually, sorry, I take that back. We're doing maps first. Maps. This is what I want you to create. It's a map of each.
We're seeing your desktop. We're seeing Tableau right now. We don't see.
What? Okay. Try again. How about now?
There you go.
We got a map. It's a map of states and of cities showing up. They're both, if we take a look, they're both sized by sales. If you take a also closer look, we only have one set of latitude and longitude generated from this. There are other ways to do this as well. What I'm looking for is states colored by sales and the city sized by sales. And also to call out, there's no missing data in the bottom corner that you might get otherwise. So this is the challenge. We're at 3:11. We'll go to 3:16. Same deal, submit it for question number two, by the way, because it'll mess with my automation on pulling these up. If you're joining late, we're doing some challenges with the Viz games this year. It's on everybody else. We're building this example. I'm giving away a book after each challenge. You see a few people have just kind of popped on here mid session. You're probably like, hey, what's going on? Why is it quiet? That's why. Building out this, asking you to get into the Tableau Superstore data, build this map layers. Maybe this is a tricky one. Maybe I've stumbled upon a good one to discuss with everyone on how to work with map layers. And if you're wondering, oh, is no one's like, am I the last one to submit? Nope, they're just starting to come in right now. So in case you're feeling like, oh, I'm running behind, it's probably not the case. I think we all operate generally at the same pace here. And if you're feeling stuck, just take a screenshot of where you're stuck. Great news. Just still be eligible, and we'll go through the solution in a minute.
What time are we, what time did they start? 3:11?
Yeah, that's right. It was, but it was basically as I said that it rolled into the next minute. I'm just getting it ready to simultaneously share the results here. Share what you got. We're gonna hop in here in a second, and hopefully I won't mess up the solution simultaneously. All right, I'll just do it. I'm gonna just go new sheet, and this one's gonna be a fun one. I'm going to utilize Tableau's built-in geographies to these fields. I could technically assign them to whatever I wanted to when I bring in my own data. As long as it sort of matches with some of the short codes that would be associated with this. So state could be a state name, or it could be abbreviation. It would work in both cases here. So my state view, I'm just going to double click on state. That brings in my state with dots. I'm going to change the mark type to map. That fills in my map. Sales onto color. That's the first half of this challenge. The next part is the fun part. Now, there are two ways to do this. The easiest way I found is to just take city, click and drag on newer versions to add a marks layer. When I release, that'll bring in city. I've got some unknowns. These are duplicates of cities across that have states that have the same city name. So all I can do to fix that is bring state also into my view. That now brings city and state together. And then the last piece I just have to do is add sales to size, and I guess adjust to make it look similar. So that's one way to do this. I'm going to Control Z on another way, just in case you have maybe an older version of Tableau. You'll notice I have latitude or longitude generated. That's a field here. I can take longitude generated, bring it up on columns. I now have a second version of my map. I'm just going to go to that second option, and I'm just going to click into state, add city to my view. I don't want sales on color, rather on size. Let's just change the size up a little bit here. And then I can just right click on the second axis and go dual axis, and I'll have built out my visualization. Why the dot's the same size? I need to change my mark type from map here to circle, and that'll bring me back to my second view. So two ways to solve this problem of putting multiple layers onto a map. The nice thing about map layers is that if you use the layer function, you could add on more and more layers to the visual. So I'm going to now simultaneously go draw some names out of a hat. And the winner is Paula. So Paula, you've got a copy of Tableau Strategies, digital version coming your way. So I'll just put a little mark there, covered it off as well. And we're on to the next challenge, the next one. And this is, I believe it's going to be mine as well here. And it's a play on what Sean had already created using table calculations. Like I said, I don't even care if you see what it looks like, because there's only one thing I care about seeing, and whether you screenshot your visualization or just the table calculation, what I would like you to do is recreate this visualization you see here, so that basically sales counts up through 2018, and then when the next year comes along, 2019, it sort of continues to accumulate through 2019 throughout a year, and then through 2019, then 2020, then 2021, and all those essentially just add up straight. But the key here out of all this is, as you're doing your running total, your running sum, you can't cheat here. The goal is to have region, then your month value here on columns. So region first, then month, to recreate this visualization. Let's see where we are at time. All right, so that is 3:22, so that'd be 3:27. We'll give you a shot. Really, all you need to do is rebuild this and then just play around with the table calculation until you get this to occur as a line chart, but I've added it as an area chart to add an extra level of complexity. But if you can just do it as a line chart first, that'll be the fun of it. I do feel like I'm gonna get Sam on this one. And for the same people that are having issues with your email and submitting, so it's all good. I've been adding you in as individuals, so you still have opportunity. Though, Anne, I do need to see a solution from you.
I'm happy to do it and not win. I'm happy to fight.
Question, Luke. Did you have a particular? Oh, sorry, my table calc window is in the way of the color legend. Sorry, I'll shut up now.
All I know through my entire time of using Tableau is that table calcs are the most tricky to work with, and I feel like maybe I've made this one a tough one, but I know that this one, yeah, how to read them can be a little challenge, and this one is a head scratcher. Make you work your way through table calculations on this one.
Well, there's also an extra special little checkbox that a lot of people don't know about when it comes to area charts.
Yeah, yep. That was why I left it as an area chart originally too, just to showcase that one.
Mhm. Tableau did a good job of hiding that one.
Getting some solutions to roll through, very interesting solutions. If you're still working, submit what you got, and we'll get to a nice little walkthrough here.
See, look, what we should have done is I present. The
I
person
know,
who-
maybe we can do the rest. You want to do the rest?
Sure.
I'm not sure if I can get the last two yours right away. It's gonna make me a little stressed. Do you want to rebuild this one?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll stop sharing and you can do a screen share. If you haven't already, send a submission. Maybe this one was a little trickier. I kind of knew it was going to be a little tricky because you can definitely have to play with your table calculations on this one.
Yep. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to go build what Luke had on his canvas. So he's got region on columns, and then right next to that, he did a date name calculation, but an easier way is to just do the discrete month for each, which already does the date name. So I don't know if that was him trying to mix with us, but this also works.
No, it's more of a habit of how I build things.
Got it.
Yeah, I think that people would just look at me and be like, "That's how you do it."
That's exactly what I did. All right, and then we're going to put order date on discrete year of order date on color, and then we'll bring our sales measure in on rows. And then we know it's a running total, so we're going to do running total, and this is what we get. But this obviously doesn't look right because what this is just doing is it's just doing it for each region and for each month.
It's totaling up each year or within a year, basically.
Yeah, right.
Which is nonsense.
Right. So what we need to do, and the way that we've got this figured out, the way that we've got this sorted, and this is kind of where scope and direction doesn't really quite, we can't really use any of these options because we have year on the detail card, as opposed to being in the view across down, what have you. What we need to do is we actually need to go customize the way that we're running this table calculation. So we click edit table calculation, and that brings up this really nice contextual dialog box, which old users of Tableau will know how much of a blessing this new thing is as opposed to the old way. But so what we need to do is we need to do it by, this is the same options that we had in that dialog box we were just using. But what we need to do now is we need to do specific dimensions. And if we check that, now you can see as we start to check and uncheck things, we'll start to see things change. We do know that we want this to restart. We want to restart the running sum after each region. So if we do that, we're still only doing it by within a year, right? So what we can do here, but you can see we can actually change the layering of these. So if we put year in there, you can see that we finally have exactly what we need, which is So we're running it by region, year, and month, and with it restarting every single year. I have not yet, Luke, found out a good way to describe or make sense of what
This
of
is
the
a bad
order.
one. This is where the shortcuts of how you can describe how to do this don't work.
Right.
So like the easiest way to think about it normally would be if you like unchecked region here, you would say like for every region, give you like, okay, it'd be for the unchecked things, you would say to yourself, for every, in this case, region, give me the running total. But the problem with doing this in this situation is that the way that Tableau is going to calculate that is essentially, in this case, would be like across then down. So if you just like shortcut it to across then down real quick on pane, well, it does the opposite, sorry. But yeah, that should be it. No, maybe it isn't. All right, whatever. That's normally how you would think about it. But in this case, what you have to do, like, you have to understand Tableau's order of operations to know the region should go So part of this is knowing Tableau's order of operations in a table calculation, which we spend way too much time talking about, frankly, if we even started bringing it up now. So what you can see, though, as Sean playing around with that, is that even in this case of the order of which the values are showing in. Oh,
yeah. And yes, that is a good point. So Tableau will actually tell you, it'll actually index how we're actually calculating everything, right? So you can see down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12, and then 13 starts here, right? So that's another good way to see. And you can, another way to look at it is, there should be, each December should be a multiple of 12, right? So you can see that it's restarting within each year, or within each region.
Yeah, we could spend nerding out on this for way too long. I think what would be best is that you show the next. Oh, first of all, let's give away a book. Come on, Luke. Let's get a book out there, and then you can show. Why don't you pull up your next examples? I'm grabbing the winner of this go around, which is going to be. Oh, we're still getting some more submissions. Oh, the 3, so perfect. It is going to be Kavitha is our winner. And I'm just going to put a mark on here. And then Sean, you want to explain this one? And I'm going to be so embarrassed because I don't know how to do this one.
Okay, so what we need, what I want you to do is basically answer the following question. What is the forecasted total monthly profit for March of 2022 with additive seasonality? So we know that we're going to be using a forecast. You can see that you can see that by the indicator. Again, similar to the last question, you can do this. I will show this the whole time. And then I'll show you how to build it. But we need to be able to add in the additive seasonality. So as people are kind of building this, Tableau has a built-in forecasting model with you can set. I'm probably giving it away here, but you're good.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah.
Let's give it a shot.
All right, there you go. I would be willing to say that forecasting is probably not something that a lot of Tableau users use, but it's still a good thing to know that Tableau can do.
I'm selfishly didn't want you to say anything because I'm trying to figure this out myself.
All right, good.
Definitely not a forecast user.
Yeah.
Oh, Sean, I'm gonna have the best solution. Oh, I've got the best solution.
Awesome.
Uh,
So while we're kind of finishing up, while people are kind of finishing up, a couple things about forecasting. Two things, main thing I want to point out about forecasting. One, it takes at least five data points in your data for Tableau to be able to create a forecast. So if you have less than four, either, be it, dates or anything like that, Tableau will need at least five continuous marks on the view in order to create the forecast. And then the other thing about that is most people will do a forecast with dates, but Tableau will actually forecast any continuous measure, or any continuous dimension, I should say. So that's another good thing to think about as well.
a lot of submissions coming
Good.
through now. I don't want to say that I'm last place, but I'm definitely my solution. We're all gonna have a good laugh.
Did you do a tab pi calculated field?
No, I did something that we should all do when we get stuck.
Cool.
I did not use the internet. That would be cheating.
This is number 4 for people who are asking. This is challenge number 4.
How long do we have until? Then we forgot to mark it. I'm too excited trying to
I
rebuild.
think it's about time right now.
All right, I'm
yeah, go ahead.
gonna steal screen share from you.
Yeah, go ahead, go for it.
All right, to prove, first of all, I rebuilt it. I can say I've learned something today. It was profit. Just gonna do a nice little double click on profit and then order date. Click, drag. Let's change this to month. Okay.
Yep.
You have this visualization. I honestly had no idea how to do this. So I'll show you what I did. I went to analytics. I know in the analytics pane, the often never used options over here, forecast, drag, drop that over here. Yes, I got a forecast. However, I know that's not right. So I did what anyone should do, which is go to help and type forecast, and then go figure out where to find the answer, which
There
is
you go.
forecast options under analysis, forecast, forecast options.
Yep.
Analysis, forecast options. From there, I was like, the forecast model, automatic, not without, so it's got to be with custom here. And then I think you went trend, no, it was
None.
seasonality,
Yeah.
additive.
There you go. There it is.
And this is me learning something brand new today in terms of being able to use forecasting, which I would personally never recommend, but you know what? We did it today anyway.
Yep. There you
All
go.
right.
Good job.
Appreciate it. I was stressed about that one for real. I'm gonna save this one for last because this one's kind of hard.
All right. Then I'll
Do
do
you
mine.
want, do you want to give a little intro to this one?
Yeah. So this is again, we're still using table calculations. So I will say that we did a survey last year of all of our Tableau users who do Workout Wednesday. And overwhelmingly, we asked them, what are some things that you want more challenges about? And overwhelmingly, the number one answer was table calculations. So that tends to be where we go whenever we start thinking about challenges in Tableau. So another one. So here we've got which quarter had a positive year-over-year total sales for each of the past 3 years. So again, 2 or 3 clicks max, less than 5 clicks max. And we are using.
There's no magic up top here that I need to know about, right?
Nope.
Okay. I'm gonna stop share so I can go try to rebuild this one quick. Oh, we didn't, hold on, got to give away a book here.
Yes.
Classic mistake, just caught up in the fun of building things. And the winner of the book is Aaron.
Congratulations, Aaron.
Aaron Simmons.
So Greg brought up a good question, Luke. Why would you not recommend using the forecasting model?
Well, I mean, Tableau is running some very basic assumptions in terms of the modeling behind it. And typically when we're doing forecasting, we're going to want to have, use our own knowledge and understanding of the data to build it directionally could be correct, but let's use our own understanding of the data to model at the row level what our expected values are going to be and then predict out forward, rather than using some, what Tableau is doing here is only taking what's on the view and doing a model based on those data points. So rather than using, in this case, I think there's like 5,000 data points to create a model. It's using the 48 points, one for each month for those 4 years. So it's a dangerous game for sure.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I'm going to see people. Now the stress is on. People are submitting. I'm seeing them come in, and I need to stop sharing and attempt to rebuild this.
So yeah, just to continue on that conversation about forecasting, Tableau recently did introduce 2 new model functions to Tableau. So they've got so you can go check out their new model, basically linear regression models that you can, which allows you to add in other parameters besides just what's on the view. You can take into account a lot of different measures and dimensions to build out that model. Yep, there's Sam looking at the predictions model overview on the help files. So
model quantile and model percentile.
That's the one. Yes. So not the same as a forecast, but still doing a lot of they're stepping up their game in the advanced analytics space a little bit. But obviously talk to your statisticians if you are going to be going and doing any of these advanced analytics. Just check with them.
Once again, I wasn't tracking the time, but I'll look at the total submissions coming in, and we have a whole bunch of them already rolling through.
So I had a DM chat that I wanted to just comment that if you're late to these or if we're moving too fast for you, I believe, and the folks on that can confirm it, but this video will be up on YouTube later, early next week. So if you miss anything or we went too fast for you, you'll be able to watch the recording later as well.
And Sean, I'm watching the clock. I'm going to say, if you're still working on it, get a submission in as I attempt to rebuild it here. And
cool.
Just because I want to leave plenty of time for the last item, plus just wrap up in general. So spoiler alert, or not such a spoiler. Sean probably knew this one was not going to be as much of a challenge for me, but I'm going to attempt to rebuild it here. And 5 clicks, that's let's see if I can do it. All right, 5 clicks. I'm going to bring order date out of my view. That's 1. I'm going to add in quarter. It's going to take more than 5 clicks, by the way. I'll be close though.
Okay.
I'm going to do, again, you're seeing the way I like to build is I just build the calculations ad hoc all the time. So if you've never done that before, I'll just do an escape here. And all I do is double click and then I'll just type sum of sales. Works faster for me to do this. So I have this, I'll count this as another click. So that would be 1, 2, 3. This would be my 4th and 5th clicks. We're going to do a % difference. When I look at this right away, I already know that what Tableau is doing by default is just doing a % difference relative to one value back. I know that because Q1 in 2018 doesn't have a value, and then the rest are sort of getting calculated. And I can even understand and double check my understanding of this by double clicking on this calculation. It's a table calculation. It says sum of sales. I typed in sum of sales, but if I open it up, Tableau now shows us the underlying calculation that exists underneath here, and it's still taking the sum of sales, but then it's subtracting the lookup, the one value prior. In this case, if I was in Q2 2018, it's looking at Q1 for this, and then also dividing by the absolute value. And if I'm in Q1 2018, there's no previous value, so that's why it's null. I'm just going to change this from a 1 to a 4. So I'm going to look back 4 spots. If I'm in Q1 2019, 1, 2, 3, 4 to Q1. I was in Q4 of 2021. It's going to count back 4 spots to Q4 of 2020. And then I'm just going to hit enter. That's going to get a bunch of values. I need to change this to a bar. That gives me my first part, and then I can just bring back in, or it's actually the second part, but I can bring in sum of sales once again, change that to a line, and then flip the order of this. A little bit different way probably to do it, but for me, building out that table calculation first is the way that I would go about building it. Nice.
There's also so I like Luca's approach of building it out as that, but there's also a quick table calculation for year-over-year growth. So you can just click on. Now, in order to do year-over-year growth, there has to be discrete dimensions in your view. So you can't do year-over-year growth on a continuous date. You have to do it on discrete dates. But yep.
All right. We have I'm just double checking to make sure we don't have any duplicate winners. We don't. This go round is Nicole Kraft.
Nicely done. Congrats.
That leaves us with round 6, which is, well, it wouldn't be appropriate if we didn't leave with a little bit of a challenge here. And this is another one where I actually don't care if you see what's going on my visualization. I tried to, Sean, sorry for this one. You're gonna have to recreate this one. what I wanted to do was, I have this weird use case in my data where I want all of my filters to filter standard, like, right, if I uncheck consumer here, I want it to filter down my data and remove consumer, except for East. I always want East to show all the values and basically ignore my filters, just the East. Obviously, if I uncheck them all, then it's going to disappear. But if I just remove values here, it more or less changes the values on the fly, except for the East. It always needs to stay full. And for this one, I only included this other calculation. I'll even show it to you. This is just a LOD by region of sum of sales. This is that background gray bar so that you can see whether the values are changing and proving that East is staying the same. But I only care about this one calculation right here to figure this out. So this will be the last one. Get a submission in, and then we'll get a winner and wrap up, and it'll be almost right on time. Right now it's 3:51. We'll go until 3:56 to see if you can recreate this view. Sean, do I have your mind working on this one?
Yes. Yes, you do.
It's a really funny answer.
It's probably going to be really easy, right?
This one is really just one calculation. You just have to write one thing.
But you have to write it. You have to write it the correct way.
There are lots of ways to do this one.
Okay. Let's see.
And also, what we can do? It's the last challenge. We'll give away 2 books on this one. Oh, before you submit, by the way, I forgot to say this. All I want you to do, I have it in the slides, which is just submit a screenshot of your calculation. I don't even want to see the viz. I just want to see the one calculation that you're building. And since we already have some submissions, if you already did, it's okay. You already submitted. We'll count it. Oh, I got Sam stumped on this one. He's off camera.
No. No, I'm still here. I'm just kids and stuff. So.
Yeah, it's all good.
You might have stumped me.
Oh, it's not that. It's not. It's a little bit funky, but it's really not when it comes down to it. How do you apply a filter on something, on one part, and not on the rest?
Oh, yeah.
This is definitely the stretch activity, in case anyone's wondering. This was going to save the stretchiest for last. I might have to make this a workout Wednesday for 2023.
I'm thinking so.
I for real had an example like this though. It was
Really?
like, I've got a couple of fields where I don't want to apply a filter, but the others I do. All right, I'll take a screenshot wherever you're at. Submit whatever you got, whatever calculation it might look like as you're trying to figure it out. Take any and all answers right now.
Oh, never mind. I got it.
It helps to add the background to
Mhm.
look at how much is loading, because if you have, right, the visualization's always changing otherwise. Make sure you get any submissions in here. Like I said, doesn't matter where it should be at. All right, Sean, well, we get some answers rolling through.
Okay.
Go ahead, I'll go off share and
All right. So you'll have to, you'll have to forgive the way that I build calcs is I have calculations 1, calculation 2, calculation 3 until I figure out the answer, and then I go back and clean up. So, but I can talk you through it. Okay. So what I did, I don't have the same colors, but as you can see here, you can see that it works. I uncheck something, E stays the same, everything else changes, which is nice. So the way that I did that is I built essentially, so I did his calculation. So fixed on region, sum of sales. So for each region, calculate the sum of sales. So that's what is that is there. And then for the I'm just going to do not a dual axis so you can see. I'll still put measure names on color so you can see what's what. All right, and then calculation 2. So if I said if region equals east, and this is not what I had first. First I had just well, it still works. So if region equals east, then include region sum fixed region sales, else just give me the sum of sales. So essentially the way that this is working is if sales, or if region equals east, then we're always going to do this calculation. Otherwise, we're going to do this normal aggregation where filters start to get applied. In this sum of sales right here, this is where anything that's filtered is going to be applied to. By doing this include here, that basically makes this a fixed level of detail and makes sure that any filtering that's done does not get applied to this value. And that's basically how it works. Luke, is that what you did?
Yeah, I actually, I appreciate your solution.
However, it's not correct.
No, I mean, it works. The include statement works here. I didn't do an include because I think that's too much work.
Sure.
And I just did a fixed LOD as, and I'll just share my screen. How about that?
Yep.
Way easier. But basically the same solution, but different function. I don't like the include and exclude statements.
Yeah.
So
is that because of the order of operations?
Well, yeah, and this is an interesting one because if we were following your rules on this, the order of operations should technically, well, yeah, I guess they would occur in that order. No, they should get filtered because it's include statement. So I'm not
I
sure.
know that's what I,
So
yes.
that, by the way, Sean just like found a bug in Tableau for those who are deep in the tool. But I did more or less the same thing. You'll notice that he used ATTR. I used min. Min is going to return more or less the same thing, except min is faster than ATTR because of the way that the function is actually written. If we did look at, I'm going to get into the weeds here, but the function for ATTR is just a touch slower. So I'll use min, just some sort of aggregations. It's on my view. It's going to return that value anyway. And then I just had to specify when east, then, what do I want to happen? Some sort of aggregation. So it's a fun little challenge here that we are bringing forward in Tableau. So that's the last example. Let's call out two final winners, and that's going to be Mike Amos. Introduction comes through, and Chidinma is also a winner. All right, if I've called out your names at any point, let me know if you want. Well, we'll figure out. I'll get you a digital copy unless you're specifically asking for it. So this year, by the way, we had nearly 100 submissions total for this time. So work it out to basically a 7% chance of getting a book out of the deal in terms of submissions. Appreciate everyone hanging around for the session. I think Sean and I tried to highlight different little quirks of Tableau in 6 challenges.
Even found bugs.
Yeah, found bugs. But that's the session that we had, the 2022 Viz games next year. Maybe we'll make it a little more fun and less interactive and more on watching someone sweat to rebuild something. But I thought maybe we would get everyone flexing a little bit today. None of these things that we talked about are in the book, by the way. This is just like little things that we're encountering. So if you're looking for some other ideas, got the book. That's coming to 7 of you, and I will follow up afterwards to make sure that you're getting access to it, because that'll come from O'Reilly. So thanks again for the time today. I'll just stick around for a little bit if anyone wants to stick on.
Yep. Thank you, Minnesota Tug, for having me. This is always fun. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. That was really, really fun. Great job. Let's give a little round of applause to Luke and Sean. You guys did good.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks for the kind words and direct message too.
All right.
Good seeing you,
Katrina,
Julio.
Oh, sorry, Luke, go ahead.
I was just saying good seeing you, Julio.
Good seeing you too. Look, good stuff. Congrats on the book, brother.
Later.
All right. Well, I think Katrina just jumped off, so I'll say final goodbyes. Thanks for participating today, and hopefully we'll see you guys in March, where I think we'll be virtual again, and we've already got a couple of awesome presentations planned. So get yourself signed up, and thank you all again. We'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.